Silence. Not the kind that soothes, not the comfortable hush of an old library or the whisper of a still morning. No, this silence is something else entirely. It's the cold, impenetrable wall of nothingness that falls between you and the person you so desperately wish to reach. And today, my dear listener, we will talk about that wall, more specifically, what's behind it. Because while an avoidant may appear unreachable in these moments, while their silence might seem like an immovable verdict, there is, in fact, something they secretly hope you will do. Something that, should you get it right, might just change everything. Yes, we are speaking today of stonewalling, that maddening act of withdrawal, the emotional fortress they construct when things get too close, too overwhelming. But let us go beyond the frustration, the confusion, and the instinct to pry their hands from the walls they've built. Let's take a step into the hidden world of the avoidant mind. Because despite what you may believe, despite what your aching heart tells you, they do want something from you in these moments. And the answer, my dear friend, is not what you expect. The tragedy of misinterpretation. It is so easy, is it not, to assume that stonewalling is an act of malice, that it is their way of punishing you, of showing indifference. Perhaps that is what it feels like. But feeling and truth are not always the same thing. You see, an avoidant does not stonewall because they do not care. They stonewall because their very core, every learned survival instinct in them, is screaming at them to retreat, to protect, to shut the gates and raise the drawbridge before they lose themselves entirely. They are not trying to hurt you. They are trying to survive you. And that, my dear listener, changes everything. We must, as all good explorers do, return to the beginning if we are to truly understand the map. For an avoidant, childhood was often a battlefield disguised as a home. Perhaps they had parents who were distant, preoccupied, cold. Perhaps they learned early that needs were burdens, that emotions were liabilities, that closeness was not safe, and that to rely on another was to hand them the dagger with which they would eventually cut you loose. So they adapted. They learned that self-sufficiency was safer than connection, that the only person they could trust was themselves. And now here they are, an adult before you, carrying that belief like an unshakable gospel. Which means that when you step forward, when you knock on the gates with love and vulnerability and the simple request to be let in, their entire nervous system panics. And in their panic, they shut down. And that, dear listener, is stonewalling. Not rejection, not hatred, fear. There is a peculiar parable about a frog and a pot of water. You see, if you throw a frog into a boiling pot, it will leap out instantly, its survival instincts sharp and immediate. But if you place that same frog in cool water and slowly, oh so imperceptibly, raise the temperature, it will not notice the danger until it is too late. Now, the truth of this tale is scientifically dubious at best, but as a metaphor for the avoidant's response to intimacy, it is perfection. Because the avoidant, my friend, is the frog. Throw them into boiling water, meaning press them too hard for closeness, demand explanations, chase, and they will leap from the pot. But gradual, steady warmth, that they might just tolerate. They are not opposed to love, not opposed to connection, but they do not trust it. And so, it must come in doses. You cannot force them to stay in the warmth. But if you are patient, if you understand the delicate art of making them feel safe, they might just remain long enough to see that the warmth will not burn them. So, if pressing them does not work, if chasing only makes them retreat further, then what do they actually want from you in these moments? Now we are at the heart of it. And the answer is this. They want you to stop chasing and trust them to return. They do not need a rescue mission. They do not need grand speeches or desperate pleas. What they need is for you to hold your ground, to be steady, to be secure. Because if there is one thing they do not trust in this world, it is the idea that someone will remain. How the secure person responds to stonewalling. A person with a secure attachment does not react to stonewalling with panic. They do not pound at the gates demanding entry. Instead, they do something profoundly simple and profoundly difficult. They step back and wait. Not in silence, not in pettiness, but in calm assurance. They might say, "I see that you need space. I'm here when you're ready." And then they go about their life. They do not crumble. They do not fume. They remain. This, dear listener, is what the avoidant secretly hopes you will do. Because if you can withstand the storm without trying to chase the wind, they will see something remarkable. You are not like the others. You do not need to consume them to love them. And perhaps, just perhaps, it will be safe to let you in. The great shift, turning avoidance into security. Now, I will not deceive you. This is not an overnight process. You cannot love someone into security. They must choose it, but you can provide the conditions in which security might grow. By refusing to play into the anxious avoidance cycle, by holding space instead of demanding connection, by allowing them to retreat, but always keeping the light on for their return. And over time, if they are willing, something remarkable happens. They learn that connection is not a prison, that love is not a trap, that they can leave and come back, and you will still be there, whole, steady, unshaken. That is how an avoidant begins to heal. That is how they choose you. So, dear listener, if you take nothing else from this long, winding exploration, take this. Stonewalling is not about you. It is about a battle they have been fighting since childhood. It is not personal. It is patterned. And if you wish to love an avoidant, truly love them, you must learn to step back while still remaining. Not to punish, not to teach a lesson, but to show in the most undeniable way possible that you are different. Because if they can trust that you will not chase them into the shadows, one day, when the walls finally fall, they might just step into the light with you.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.